Well, I think everybody's going to have to give a little to make this work. And, I think we've lost the art of conversation in our society. And, reasonable people doing reasonable things. And, it has to be a win-win-win situation. It has to be a win-win for the worker. It has to be a win for the union. And it has to be a win for who ultimately pays the bills. And in this case, it's you and me. And there are listeners who are the taxpayers. And yet everybody wants to not touch their, don't gore my oxen.
Right.
And
you can call everybody else's herd, just leave mine alone.
Right. Like I made the comment, like, hey, some of these smaller school districts need to merge, and it's like, oh, not me, and it's like, okay, then I'm not going to touch that one. But
how about school choice? I'd rather see that, right? Let schools open up and allow me to redirect my tax dollars and my kid to whatever school I think is going to best do the job.
Well, and also, some of these unaccredited school districts, as kids and parents didn't sign up for that, so I do think they should have school choice.
Yeah.
And I think they're in schooling, it's one of the last monopolies. And I happen to think that competition's a good thing in everything we do.
Right. Especially education, because to be honest with you, if you've got a teacher who's not cutting it, I don't care about tenure. I want him or her out.
Well, as they say in sports, the best player should be on the field at all times.
Right.
And, if you're trying to win games, and take politics out. It's about education and it's about our children. And I see way too many politics and way too many of our decisions. And we've got to strap it back here or peel it back and say, what is it about? It's about education. It's about our kids. And it's not about the... It's not about
your vacation time or whether or not you got some kind of healthcare Benny that nobody else gets. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of hearing... and I'm not throwing all teachers under the bus, but I'm tired of hearing the unions say that, teachers sacrifice and therefore they're entitled to all these special privileges and that kind of thing. They're not. And there are teachers out there who we know are not good, but we can't get rid of them.
Right.
And that to me is a major problem because the union is protecting them.
Well, and also, sometimes it's bad leadership on the local level as well.
And that can be too. But, at least you can vote your school board out, but you can't vote a teacher out if they're protected by the union.
Well, I think that's where good leadership needs to come in and say, come on, guys, this is about education. And quit protecting somebody that's not doing their job. And to me, everybody's afraid to have those types of conversations.
We've got to take a break for the quarter hour, but as soon as we come back, Dave, if there's any topics that you'd like to touch on, by all means, we can certainly do that. If our phone numbers here, by the way, folks, are 257-1111 and 866-554-6636. You're listening to 107.1 The Point on America's Voice, and we'll be right back. So, okay, folks, we are on the phone with Dave Spence, who's running for governor. His website is spenceforgovernor.com, and that last name is spelled S like Sierra, P, Papa, E, Echo, N, November, Charlie, Echo, forgovernor.com, spenceforgovernor.com. As I always say, it is your duty and your obligation as listeners to go out there and do your due diligence. Find out where Dave stands on the issues. If you believe that Dave is the right candidate for the job and you think he's going to represent you the way that you feel he should be representing you and you're going to hold him accountable, then support him. Make a contribution financially. He's got a section on here on his website where you can contribute financially, or you can contact him and participate in a host of other ways, i.e., inviting him into your church, inviting him into, a place where you work and speaking to people, have a fundraiser for him, whatever it is that you think you can do, write letters to the editor, host a party, whatever it is. That's how our system should be working. And, I expect everybody out there to do their part. So, Dave, if they want to contact you, is there a way that they can reach you on? You have your Facebook page too, right?
Yeah, we're very active on Facebook. It's been ramping up as the weeks have gone on.
Okay.
We try to answer everybody, except for the obvious people that come on there just to pick a fight. But,
sure.
We've got a few of those, but thank you, Jay Nixon. We try to really be, forthright. Especially, I didn't grow up in the political farm system, so you have to work harder than the next guy, really. And that's the way I was successful in business and in my life. Being very open and honest, and I'm one of those people that if you don't know the answer, you just say you don't know the answer, but you'll get back to them.
Sure.
And but if anybody has I'm a fiscal and social conservative, and that takes in a lot. I'm very much pro Second Amendment. I've been endorsed by the Missouri Right to Life, and fiscally, I'm probably the only candidate that's ever made a budget and hired and fired people in the real world, and I will surround myself with good people that have the right ethics and the right both work ethics and moral ethics. And I don't think we've had a CEO of Missouri for a long time. And if you think about it, it's a $24 billion business. Missouri.
Exactly.
That's a staggering amount of money. And why would you have somebody in there that's never been in the real world running a business?
Exactly. And not to mention that with the mentality that it's up to him to distribute the money to cronies and political pals rather than actually try to make a budget.
Yeah, that's what really nauseates me. Is that I looked at this deal, and our governor, in Missouri, the governor appoints 12 of 16 positions. And I looked at this thing, and I said, well, some of these people don't even have experience in the areas they're running. And I thought, well, that's dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, so again, I don't care if it's an R, D, or I behind your name. We're going to find the best 12 people who have experience in those particular areas.
Right.
And if they don't cut it, then you do what you do in the real world. You hold them accountable.
Got it.
And so it's a $24 billion business called Missouri Incorporated. That's what we have.
Right.
And if you were looking at it and saying, okay, if I were going to buy stock in a company called Missouri Incorporated, what am I looking at? Well, you say it has a lot of potential, has a lot of good people there, but it has bad leadership. And at the end,
the management is all screwed up.
Right. And you'd say, well, I like some of the division heads, meaning the House and the Senate. They could work together a little bit closer, in my opinion, but that's called leadership from the top. And, let's do something with the majority in the House and the Senate. Let's get something done. Let's don't take on 20 issues. Let's take on 5, and let's get those finished first, and then we'll go on to the next ones. But, my whole agenda is pro-business, pro-paycheck. Let's get going as a state. Let's quit making excuses, and let's not fall any further behind, because we're already 50th or 49th or 48th in most categories. We're number 1 in meth. That's something to be proud of, right?
Yeah, really.
And I guess I'm tired of Missouri being a laggard versus a leader.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been a leader all my life.
And making excuses for that. That's what really gripes me.
Right. And it grinds my gears. It's all a finger pointing, and I'm right, you're wrong. And in the end, who's losing? 5.9 million Missourians. And our kids are going elsewhere. And we have so many things we need to get going, and we have so many great things going on in our state with people and roads and bridges and universities and industries, but we're just not doing enough with it. And when you're leading the nation in for job creation, that's not something to be proud of. And yet, as I've gone around to all the counties, I've never been more proud to be Missourian. And I see that everybody wants to do something, but they feel helpless based upon the leadership in the governor's office right now.
I hear you. Well, we're at the top of the hour, and I appreciate very much you calling in. I know you're on your way to another event today, so I know you kind of shoved us into your drive time, and I appreciate you doing that.
I'm lining up for a parade in Crystal City, Missouri, and I think I don't see any the horses yet, but I'm sure I'm going to be right behind horses or something.
Okay.
I'm going to have to get a big shovel.
I got it. We'll try not to follow our president's example, and let's not lead from behind. Let's lead from the front.
That's not my DNA, man. I'm telling you, I'm a good leader, and I will learn all sides of an argument. But
you sound like it.
Bottom line is, we need to work together, and it's time we start doing that and act like adults and get things going, because there's simply other states that are racing ahead of us, and it's and like in your listenership, how many businesses could have been in Missouri that are in Arkansas now,
exactly,
or things like that, and so to me, it's time. We've wasted enough time. The sand in the hourglass is almost out for Missouri, and we are fighting over aid to the blind or veterans home funding, and those are the symptoms. The cure is we need leadership, and we need to run Missouri Incorporated like a better company. And to me, I'm the only person that's running for this office that has actually done that and been CEO. And I've got the School of Hard Knocks, learned from a lot of things, some good, some bad, and I think Missouri's ready for it.
Well, I think we need citizen legislators, so we need people who aren't career politicians. Folks, the website is spenceforgovernor.com, and I encourage you to get out there, read Dave's plan and his program. He's got a jobs plan on there, so I encourage you to get out there and educate yourself about that. And then if you support Dave, then make sure that you're out there and really helping him, not just keeping it close to the vest until the August 7th date. Dave, thank you very much for being with us. If it's possible, I'd love to have you back on. I could speak with your campaign about that and make an arrangement for you before the 7th date, because I think it's very, very important that our folks here have an opportunity to hear you and hear where you stand on specific issues to them.
Well, thanks, Mike. I really appreciate it, and God bless America. Let's make it proud again.
Thanks, Dave.
Take care.
All right. Have a great day. So,
Okay,
folks, we are wrapping up the show for today. Again,